Well, welcome one last time, YouTubers and subscribers, to Starry Hilder's Back to Eden Garden. And it's kind of a sad day here in the homestead because it is October and it is really time to retire the garden. We had such a phenomenal, abundant season on the homestead, and we were so happy to be able to share all of that with you at home. And now we're going to share us kind of continuing the process of getting ready for winter with our Back to Eden garden. So Mr. Hilder's already in the garden. He was chomping at the bit this morning. The rooster's awake. So I think it's time to come along for one last tour, and we'll share with you guys what we do to get ready at the end of the season. So if you remember, people, this was where we had our potatoes, and a couple things are going on here. Number one, my husband just added some more manure to the top of this area after he harvested the potatoes. So this really is pretty much done for the year. He's not going to be doing any more layering on here as he is with the rest of the garden. But the other thing he's going to do, we had a beautiful harvest of potatoes, and I want to show you this. Okay, so this is where we are going to be storing our potatoes over the winter. Yeah, this is a new idea. If you remember last year we had a video where we stored our carrots. We had a great carrot harvest. Oh, it was so good. And we put it in that big sawdust pile. Well, this year we are actually going to store our potatoes right in the ground. So what he ended up doing after he harvested the potatoes, he tore up, as you see, the recycled tires. And what we are also doing is curing the potatoes right now. Very, very important before you start thinking about how you're going to store them, because the last couple of weeks before you pull actually your potatoes out of the ground, you want to make sure you kind of reduce the water, because that'll toughen up the skins. Once you pull the potatoes out of the ground, you want them exposed to the air for a couple weeks. This will actually help toughen up the skins, and then you can actually store potatoes up to 6 to 8 months in the right conditions. Isn't that great? So the right conditions for us is going to be right back into the ground. So the biggest thing that we do to prepare our Back to Eden garden for the winter, and people, listen, this is really important, because it goes back to the concept of layering and letting nature do its job. Do not just pull up your tomato plants and your pepper plants and simply put them in a big old composting pile. Don't do that. Do what Mr. Hilder is doing back there. He's doing a really good job. He's taking all of our tomato plants and he is cutting them up. Look at that. These are kind of tiny. You don't really have to make them this tiny, but what you want to do is take those plants and shred them. Now listen very closely, because that green plant is full of nutrients. And what do we want to happen? We want those nutrients to go back into the soil, right? That's what we want. We want nature to work for us, not against us. So we're going to cut up all of those greens, and we are simply going to spread them out on top of our garden. And that means, people, right on top of the wood chips. It's the layering effect. So this is the first layer, the green. The green goes on top of the wood chips. And then we'll wait for the next step. So as Mr. Hilder is chopping up with his pair of scissors, I can't believe he's doing that, but he's doing a very good job. Remember, people, if you saw my other video about the fall preparation, you still want to take some of those cuttings off of your tomatoes and save those. And Mr. Hilder already has started a cutting pile here. See? He's already got his cutting pile. So these will go back inside the house, and we will be growing throughout the winter some tomato plants. So this is our last farewell to our tomatoes. But look at this. We still have beautiful, beautiful romas that are green. Some of them are actually red that are still on the plant. Look at that. I am getting, look at what I'm getting. So before you start composting everything and tearing your garden down, make sure you make that one final pick. Here's my last final pick, and I can't keep up. There's just tons and tons of tomatoes left. So what I'm going to do is I will just simply put these tomatoes out on my kitchen table, and in my windowsill. We kind of get over inundated with lots of tomatoes. I don't put them in a brown bag, and I don't use the newspaper method. I have found that if you just set them out in a nice sunny location, sometimes they don't even have to be in a sunny location, they will just ripen up. And remember, you can use green tomatoes for a lot of really great recipes. But okay, so I gotta go get another bowl. Oh, look at this. Say farewell to Starry Hilder's garden. That is the last of the spoils. We're in front of what used to be, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I did a composting 101 video, and this is the compost pile. It has composted. Isn't this beautiful? So what we are doing now as part of our Back to Eden garden preparation for the winter is taking this beautiful compost that nature helped create, and we're going to show you what we're going to do with it on the garden. So this is the next step, people. Mr. Hilder is doing such a wonderful job. We are taking that beautiful rich compost that we created over the summer and that broke down, and now we are layering that over the green. Just like that, no frills, just layer it right over your green. And then what's gonna happen is over the winter, this is the beauty of the Back to Eden garden method, it's gonna start composting again, all the way down, all that rich nutrients from the compost that we created to the green stuff, all gonna break down and give you supercharged soil in the spring. Okay, so that's the one layer. Remember, green, and now compost, and okay, Mr. Hilder is finishing up with the very last layer. And what's the last layer, people? Oh, well, it's wood chips. Of course, it's wood chips. And we like putting on wood chips as the last layer because it really makes the garden look nice. Now, I don't want you guys to freak out when I say this, but when it comes to the layering, you can do it in any order you want. If you want to lay your compost down first and then put the green on top, that's okay. You can mix it up. Okay, because it's all going to decompose over the winter time, and it's going to add to the richness of your soil. So don't worry about it. So my next big project is the pepper plants, and I feel so bad for these pepper plants because I wish I could take them all with me over the winter time, but I just simply can't. But we are going to transplant as many as we can, and we're just going to have to kind of experiment to see if they will survive over the winter. I'm really hoping they will. It's going to take a lot of great care, but I'm going to have you join me on that journey of taking these out of the ground. So Mr. Hilder is over there, and we have to decide on which ones we are going to save. And holy moly.
Tree trunk right here. I'm gonna go for this one.
Yeah. That is incredible. And you can see we still have a lot of produce on these. Look at that. I should pick some of these. Look at that. That's beautiful. We got one there.
Starting to get soft.
Yeah. And what else we got in here? Here's another one. Look at that. Ooh. Wow, I got to get my basket out.
Basket? You're going to need a wheelbarrow.
Ooh, look at these. Gorgeous. So we are finishing up. Oh, I love that one. We have so many colors here. So we are going to just simply transplant them. And what Mr. Hilder is going to do is you want to make sure you get that big root ball and do so in the most undisturbing way possible. You see how he just takes that whole tree trunk, and we're going to put them in pots, and they're going to kind of go into a shock. This is just kind of part of it. You're going to want to keep them inside the house, in the window. There he goes. He's taking another one. Look at, even though this is a small one, look at the size of the peppers that are on there. Oh, there we go. All right. So we are going to try to get as many as these transplanted today. And look at that beautiful soil. Oh, it's just lovely. All right, we're not really making a dent yet, but we're getting there. The chickens are having fun. So with the final picking, I want to show you guys Look at how beautiful. I mean, I can't keep up. I hope you guys can see what we're doing over there. Mr. Hilder is digging up some more of the pepper plants. But you know what? I just can't keep up with the produce that's still... Oh, look at this. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. Wow. And this is my jalapeno plant. I don't know if you guys can see it from way over there. But it is just, it's like it's so beautiful. It's so ornamental. Look at that. Isn't that great? So I'm not only getting peppers, I'm getting tomatoes. Look at what I've gotten so far. I'm not even scratching the surface. This is just one. So these are some of look at these pepper plants that we're getting. Oh man, these are when you actually take them out of the ground and put them in pots, they are the size of trees. Wow. So we are really hoping that we are going to be able to sustain these over the winter time.
There's more bananas for you.
Oh wow, yeah, lots. Okay, YouTubers and subscribers, we did pretty good today. As you can see, we got a lot of the peppers already transplanted, so that's good. But we've got a lot more work to go. So, you know, when it comes to tearing down your garden, especially with the Back to Eden method, just remember the layering is the most important thing, and the rest, just take your time. But look at the abundance of the produce that we really are still getting out of that garden, and it is basically almost the end of October. So some of the pepper plants we are actually going to continue to keep underneath that wonderful DIY hoop house, and we'll see how much more that we get. But look at this. It was a really abundant and productive day. So thank you for joining us on one of our very final Back to Eden garden videos. But until next time, we'll keep you updated throughout the winter on our pepper plants and everything else. So God bless you guys.